All right, well, let's take a look at what's grabbing the headlines across the world. Flo, you're here to tell us a little bit more about the emotion that's coming out regarding those shipwrecks in the Mediterranean.
Still a lot of emotion in the press today. I thought we'd start with a cartoon. Actually, this is a cartoon by Chapat in the New York Times. I think that sums up quite well a lot of emotion that we're seeing in the press today. What you can see here is basically it's titled The Mediterranean Graveyard, and you can see the Mediterranean Sea literally transformed into a massive graveyard there, while European beachgoers look on in horror.
Well, European authorities are trying, of course, to crack down on the human trafficking rings responsible for this influx.
That's right. That's really what's been highlighted by this most recent tragic string of shipwrecks. If we take a look at the front page of the Wall Street Journal today, they're talking about how these migrant deaths have exposed a vast smuggling network, a multi-million-dollar people smuggling enterprise. It's a very interesting investigation in the Wall Street Journal today. It's a vast smuggling network that's run by Libyan militias, tribesmen and bandits, and they have a map actually that shows just how all these people are brought into Libya and then try to cross over into Europe. Now, according to this article in the Wall Street Journal, human traffickers are really taking advantage of the unrest in Libya right now, and the profit from the human trafficking has consolidated a new balance of power in the region, according to the Wall Street Journal.
All right, well, Flo, moving on to another story that's getting quite a lot of attention. Egypt's former President Mohammed Morsi being handed down 20 years in jail.
Absolutely. Now, he's still facing 4 other trials for they're coming out of that 1 year in power he had before being ousted. The Wall Street Journal once again comes back on the details of this verdict. So 20 years in prison on charges of stirring up violence. What's interesting, though, is to see how the Egyptian press is reacting to this sentence as well. I pulled out 2 articles. It must be said these are from pro-government papers, so didn't really find anything in the pro-Morsi Muslim Brotherhood papers. Let's take a look at this article. This is Al-Masri Al-Youm. Now, it points out that he was acquitted of premeditated murder. That's a crime that would have carried a mandatory death penalty. And this editorial says that's exactly what Morsi should have gotten, the death sentence. The court was too lenient, according to this paper. 20 years is certainly not enough for the families of the victims during Morsi's repression, as they call it. I pulled out another paper. This is At-Tahrir. It's another Egyptian paper. A little bit more measured, says that actually 20 years is already pretty good. And this paper focuses on the fact that such trials, whether it's Mohammed Morsi or his predecessor, Hosni Mubarak, these trials are actually very encouraging. They're proof that democracy is really settling in Egypt.
All right, well, away from Egypt, in Germany, people are reacting to the bookkeeper of Auschwitz.
That's right. Now, major breakthrough came yesterday. The 93-year-old admitted that he was morally complicit. Now, you can see that quote, actually, in an article I pulled out from the Frankfurter Allgemeine Zeitung. So this is 93-year-old Oscar Gröning. He said that he was morally complicit in the crimes against humanity committed during the Holocaust. Now, Göring is one of a handful of elderly Nazis who German authorities are hoping to prosecute before they die. And I pulled out a very interesting analysis piece in Die Welt, so another German paper today, that is very critical of his trial. It says it doesn't make sense. He's 93 years old. Is this justice or is this revenge? How can we punish an accessory to murder in 300,000 cases? So a man whose life expectancy is actually unlikely to be sufficient to read him the whole verdict. That's what Die Welt says. Now, according to Die Welt, this trial really only highlights what it calls the eternal shame of the German justice system. And that's the fact that authorities really didn't do enough to pursue Nazi perpetrators when they had enough time.
All right, and finally, a word on the 2016 presidential race. Hillary Clinton has, of course, thrown her hat into the ring, but her early supporters are proving quite surprising.
That's right. There's a great piece today in the Daily Beast. I think the title says it all, so let's take a look. It talks about a campaign called Hookers for Hillary. Now, this is one of Nevada's infamous brothels that's launched this campaign, Hookers for Hillary. Now, they explain in this article just why they're Team Hillary 2016. Why on earth would prostitutes want Hillary Clinton to be president? Well, according to the Daily Beast, a lot of it has to do with health care reform. Of course, Hillary Clinton is a big defender of Obama's health care reform, and so they're hoping that she's going to continue on that path. But the article points out that a lot of people say this might just be a publicity stunt for the brothel. And actually, the brothel's spokesman says it's more than a publicity stunt. When you can get publicity and do the right thing, then you've got a winner.
All right, Flo, we'll leave it there with the roundup of the press. Thank you very much.